Hello, it's been a while. It was quite hard to actually get back into the swing of doing a video, but I'm here now. Hang on, I need to just get my cup. I'm making some tea. I tell you, I do my 10,000 steps walking up and down this kitchen. Do you like my mug, by the way? It's from Aldi. I love Aldi. It's for putting like loose tea in. It's really nice. I do like the things you get in Aldi and Lidl. Anyway, yes, it's been a while. So lots of people have been asking me about the dogs, How are the dogs? How does the dogs settle in? Are the dogs okay? The dogs are fine, but I lost them, didn't I? Let me just wait for that kettle to boil. Right, that's better. So just in case you're new here, because there are a few new subscribers, thanks for coming over to the channel that have come over while I've not really been here for a couple of months. But I was full-time house sitting my way all around Portugal, been all over, every region. But then I rescued 2 dogs, so I had to pronto find somewhere to rent so that I could home them. So, and then that was the last couple of videos that I got them, and a lot of people have been asking after them. So yes, as one of you put it, they had some decompressing to do. Although I know you saw them in the video when I first brought them here, relaxed and chilled, which they were, obviously in comparison to what they were like when they first got out of their cage. But yes, they did have some decompressing to do. There was a lot of arguing and a lot of fighting, which they did used to do a lot in their kennel as well. But that's calmed down now. Right, Terry, get out. Out you come. Come on. Cut this blooming thing in half, because it's just nobody wants to sleep anywhere else except for on this blanket. We'll do it exactly in half. Can you get off? Off. Off. Mind your nose. You're going to get your nose chopped off. Right. One in there and one in there. No more arguing. There was a lot of humping. That's calmed down now. And yeah, so, but I lost them, didn't I? I lost them. I'll tell you all about that in a minute. But I tell you what, the biggest change, I am so chuffed. So I would not and do not ever feed, I don't eat highly processed food, and I wouldn't expect my dogs to eat highly processed food. So I would never feed kibble. But so I do this, I'm very familiar with raw and stuff, but I do this particular method of feeding, or I adopted this particular method of feeding, which I'm new to, which a lot of people use for curing as a last resort, because their dogs have got ailments that won't go away. Some are terminally ill. I know someone whose vet could not believe her dog was still alive because she only came from a rescue from a puppy farm and only had 30% liver function, and the vet said this dog will be dead soon, but you know, 5 years later the dog's still going strong. But anyway, so I only adopted this method of eating because I want them to be the healthiest for the longest time and live a long, healthy life to make up for all the years they lost locked up in this kennel. So that's the only, you know, I didn't notice any particular health issues with them. However, if you saw my last video, I had mentioned that I think Terry's got some arthritis. Now, some of you suggested lots of things. Someone sent me a big recipe for bone broth. People suggested turmeric. People suggested CBD. I mean, I'm really into health, so obviously I've heard of all those things. However, I did not want to go interfering with him. I need to observe him naturally as he was, because if you suppress some symptoms, you don't know what's going on. Anyway, I was just guessing that he may have arthritis, because that was the symptoms he was displaying. So I'll tell you what was happening with him. One thing I noticed with him, I thought, all animals stretch when they get up, don't they, when they wake up? And he never stretched when he got up. And I thought, oh, Terry doesn't stretch, you know, he must be really stiff and uncomfortable. He doesn't stretch. When he got up from lying down, he would hold up one of his back legs, and I actually paid €60 for a specialist in the vet, only because I took them there for a bath and this specialist happened to be there that afternoon, so I paid for him to get looked at. But yeah, anyway, it's a bit of a waste of time, but anyway, so he suggested that, well, he probably is going to need an operation on that knee, and that he'd need to do scans and x-rays and stuff. But anyway, so he used to hold up this leg for a long time, often, and always when he got up. What else? He used to wince and yelp a lot. I think I trod on him, and but it was as if he moved and had a sharp bit of pain or something. I don't know, but it was as if somebody had trod on him and he yelped. He kept doing that. Groan. Oh my God, he groaned a lot. He would groan when he was getting up, and groan when he was lying down, and just groan when he was just lying. I thought he was just quite vocal and groany, but at one point, I think I did say this, when the first night I brought them home, I thought, oh, Terry's groaning. And then, because I was just sitting there watching them, because I just couldn't believe I'd actually got them out of their hellhole, and I was just sitting out there till late into the night, just sitting out there with them, because they stay outside. And then, so I'm listening to them groan, and then I thought, no, that's groaning's the kind of groaning that the kind of noise a dog makes when they're in pain. That's a or in discomfort, at least, kind of groan. The other thing he used to do was always sit to one side. A lot of dogs do that. You know how they just sit under one leg, one hock under, and just slouch into one side. But he'd always sit like that. He'd never sit straight. Well, now, you know, I mean, my friend noted it and mentioned it, but I didn't really think nothing of it, because loads of dogs sit like that. But now I've noticed that he just sits straight. He can sit down straight. He never used to sit like that before. The other thing is he now stretches. Oh God, he's practically doing yoga the other day. He was doing upward dog, downward dog, having a really good stretch. And I had noticed that, oh, he doesn't stretch when he gets up, because all animals do. So there was all these different things that just made me think, oh, I think maybe he's got a bit of arthritis. And I just didn't think anything of it. I didn't think to film him. I wish I did, so I could really see a before and after. I didn't think to film any of these symptoms. I always do like a full sort of not medical, like just a little observation, so that I can remember what they look like. So I just filmed their body, I weighed them, I filmed their eyes, I filmed their noses. I forgot to film their teeth, because they are looking good. Even filmed their butts, filmed some skin issues that one of them had, just so that I could remember before and after. If, you know, sometimes you think, does that look different? Are they looking better? I can't remember. But I did not think to film Terry's mobility and some of these things. Anyway, the long and the short of it, he is a different dog. There is no more holding up that back leg. There is no more yelping. Except when he's excited, he doesn't yelp. There is no more groaning. There is no more stiffness. I have stairs here. both of them actually struggled up and down the stairs because obviously they got no muscle tone, muscle strength in their back, you know, in their hindquarters, in their back legs, and struggled getting up down these stairs. He's up and down them like a whippet. No more sort of taking ages to lie down and also get up. He's just up and down. He's like a spring chicken. So they was on, not only was they on kibble, they was on a very cheap kibble, which was just grain and byproducts. So a lot of grain. So I believe he also lost a lot of weight, which didn't look very nice, but this does happen with this form of feeding sometimes. And also I was walking them an awful lot, and also I was still working out their portions and exactly what they need. So although it's not very nice to look at, I'm not worried about the weight loss because he in himself is looking amazing. He's just got energy, he's just got mobility, it's not affecting him in any way. So, but it's going back on now. I've adjusted the food and adjusted the portions, and so he's putting it back on quite fine now. So honestly, he is like a different dog. And like I say, I didn't observe I didn't think they had any particular health problems, but it's only until you see him much more optimal and vibrant that you realise, yeah, he wasn't his best. So I'm chuffed with that. But, so losing them, I call them the most well-behaved naughty dogs I know. I call them my good bad boys, although there's no such thing as a bad dog, because they still follow me around all over the place. They're very responsive and very good indoors. The difference between me, when I went out, there'd be a lot of yelping and barking. When I came back, there'd be a lot of manic yelping and barking. But now they just nicely stay. Right, I had to tie him up because I could not get out. Oh my goodness, this is because I'm going. You're going to have to get used to this. I didn't say I was rescuing you and spending 24/7 with you. Recognise those noises? They'll survive, but they'll have to. And they don't hang themselves. Oh, I tell them to stay and wait. And they stay, they're such good boys. Such good boys. I'll be back. See you later. I'll be back. Oh my goodness, where's she going without us? Oh no. They just know the lay of the land, that things are cool here. They get walked, they get loved, they get fed off, and they like the food. The energy is a lot calmer and a lot more settled. But yes, so them and their shenanigans, let's tell you about that. So yes, the dogs are really good, but what they go crazy for is anything that moves. And actually, in fact, anything that doesn't move as well. Chickens, cows, horses, no matter how big the animal, sheep, they just go crazy. If they get a scent when they're out, Terry especially forgets the whole world around him and is just like on a mission. And he generally walks on a mission anyway. Once he's walking down a path, he just, I don't know, he just goes into a little zone. So I lost him, didn't I? Up on the mountains, they we was walking along, you know, because they really do trot. Once they are going along the path, it's like, you know, they're really excited to see what's down this path. We're going this way. They're really enthusiastic. So I have to keep telling them to wait and until I catch up, or I can call them back, and their recall was actually getting really good. Well, I made the mistake of stopping to take a picture of the view, and they had gone round a corner. So once I'm sort of out of range, so to speak, that's it, they were gone. And then they realised I'd left it too late, not put them on the lead quick enough before we was coming up to the end of the path, because as we're fine up on the mountain, well, I say we're fine as long as there's not herds of goats and cows that free range up there. So yeah, but I'd left it sort of like, let them go get too close to where the houses were, because once they know we're getting to the village, they know there's chickens, there's sheep, there's things in the fields for them, and they just want to get down there. 4 hours they was gone. 4 hours. I was out looking for them on foot, in the car, retraced our steps. I was worried they wouldn't be able to find their way home because they might have gone too far in the other direction. But then I thought, I don't want them to find their way home, because my neighbour has sheep that aren't even kept behind a fence. They just roam on the bit of green right in front of my garden. That's one. There are every single side of my boundary of my garden, there are chickens and or sheep. So I thought, if they come home, they're gonna think, yes, we can go for the neighbours' chickens that we've been barking at and looking at, that's been tormenting us all this time. But they did not get lost. Neither did they find their way home. Not only do they go gallivanting over the mountains for 4 hours, they couldn't even be bothered to walk all the way home. They hitched a lift, didn't they? While I'm at home having a 4-hour heart attack, I hear this tooting and a car driving towards the house, thinking, oh my God, it's somebody coming to tell me that my dogs are savaging their chickens or troubling their sheep. And I don't mean this to sound callous, that I wasn't too worried about, or as worried about them as I was worried about what they was going to get up to when they first ran off. Because as you've seen, or as you will see, they are savages. So yeah, she jumps out of the car. Guess who I've got in the back of the car? And I'm like, well, I can guess, but it can't be. How have you got my 2 dogs in the back of my car? They'd rocked up at her house and yeah, just got a lift the rest of the way home. And not only that, a couple of weeks later, they tried it again, didn't they? Running off into the sunset like Thelma and Louise. Can I just add, if anyone hasn't heard this, their names. They are named after Nelson Mandela and Terry Waite, 2 noble souls that did not deserve their incarceration. Let me tell you a little secret. Although they don't deserve this, and no dog deserves what they went through, one of the reasons they were locked up is that they did used to go off gallivanting for days on end before their years of incarceration. So now I'm thinking more Bonnie and Clyde, Thelma and Louise. But anyway, as I said, trotting off into the sunset like bloody Thelma and Louise. I've had to capture them like a couple of fugitives. So we now have a couple of stretchy leads, you know, them big washing line things, and walks on the lead from now on. So yes, thank you for your concern, but the dogs are fine, absolutely fine. They're loving life. It's me that's suffering. They're fine. Life is good. This is the savages, and they see sheep and lambs. Can you imagine these 2 out for 5 hours on the loose? And there's sheep around. Absolute savages. Terry, can you tell me, why do you need to get your face as close as you can to my face? What is that all about? You need to be in the dictionary under the definition of the phrase in your face. Do you know that? And do you have to be making some sort of noise all the time, even if it's under your breath? Do you? What did you do when you was in that cage all day, every day? What did you do? I don't think anybody's enjoying this walk, are we? We timed that wrong, didn't we? Thought it was a clear bit, and it wasn't. Oh my goodness, it happened again. So, look at this. Nelson's not happy. Oh, he's so wet and cold. I'm going to have to get him a coat at this rate. Terry's not too bothered. He's got a much thicker coat, but poor little Nelson's all wet and cold. Every time. Right, so they are wired. There's clearly been some goats or something along here. If they was off the lead and got wind of that, they would be gone. They don't pull on the lead like this ordinarily, but there is nothing else that matters when they get wind of an animal, no matter how big, no matter how small. From rabbits to great big cows with horns, horses, and that's it. The brain's gone. Right, that's enough now because you're choking yourself. There you go. I knew it. There you go. All the cows. You can see them. There's 6 cows. I knew there was something they could smell. When there's a